Stop recording video. Take picture. Stop recording video. Button. Swipe up or down to select. Stop recording video. Button. Speech off. All right. Howdy, folks. You're going to lay sideways. Oh, that is awful bright again. Maybe my eye surgery worked. Anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. There we go. You're laying sideways. You're going to deal with it. And here we are with another fun-filled edition of the NRBC, which is Latin for the Neil Residence Book Club. As per the usual, I am here, whether you like it or not, with the next installment. This time, as promised, we are back with the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series, because who doesn't like those? And they're not going to be read in any particular order, because I don't have them all, and honestly, I don't know what order they go in. And we already did one, which I think was the fourth one, so now we're doing another one, which I'm guessing is not the fourth one. So, let's just get this over with so this light stops shining in my eyes and re-blinding me. After Thursday's eye surgery, I'm surviving, but it's not quite right. It's kind of like there's a bug in there. It's not very pleasant. Anyway, actually, I kind of have to move this. That's going to drive me around the bend. Oh, never mind. That's even worse. Ah! Oh, for crying out loud. All right, fine. We'll just deal with it. Sorry if you're not looking directly at me, or good show if you're not, because maybe you don't want to. Anyway, before this completely drives me around the bend, let's get this show on the ROAD. So, Diary of a Wimpy Kid by Jeff Kinney. The Long Haul. Oh, never mind, it's this way. Okay, June, Friday. If there's one thing I've learned from my years of being a kid, it's that you have zero control over your own life. Ever since school let out, I haven't had anything I've needed to do, or anywhere I've needed to be. As long as the air conditioner was working and the TV remote had batteries in it, I was all set for a relaxing summer holiday. But then, out of the blue, this happened. Oh, there's weird captions and line break gizmos in here, so bear with us. The three boys are sitting in front of the TV when Mom appears. Mom, pack your bags! We're going on a road trip. This isn't the first time Mom has sprung a trip on us without any warning. Last year, on the first day of summer, she said we were going upstate for a few days to visit Aunt Loretta at the nursing home. It wasn't exactly my idea of a fun way to kick off the summer. One time, when we visited Aunt Loretta, her roommate grabbed me and wouldn't let me go until a staffer gave her a chocolate chip muffin. Caption: a burly woman in a wheelchair has a firm grip on Greg, who is squirming frantically in her lap, while a member of staff cautiously proffers a muffin. End of break. But Mom was bluffing about going to the nursing home. At breakfast the next morning, she told us where we were really going. Mom and Dad appear at the breakfast table wearing Mickey Mouse ears and brandishing some tickets. Mom: we're going to Disney World! Whoop whoop! Me and my brother Roderick were happy because we were both dreading spending the first week of our summer holidays playing shuffleboard at a nursing home. But when my little brother Manny heard about the change of plans, he totally lost it. Mom had talked up the Aunt Loretta trip so much that Manny was actually excited about going. We ended up postponing our trip to Disney so we could visit Aunt Loretta. You'd think Mom would have learned her lesson about surprise trips after that one, but no. Page break gizmo thing. The family sit despondently in the garden of the nursing home, watching Manny eagerly play shuffleboard with an old man in a Zimmer frame. End break. I know exactly where this road trip idea came from, because the new issue of Family Frolic magazine came in the mail today. If I had to guess, I'd say 90% of everything we do as a family comes from ideas Mom read from that magazine. And I saw the latest issue. When I saw the latest issue, I knew it was gonna get Mom's wheels turning. Page break. Family frolic. Adventure awaits. The picture on the front of the magazine is an excited family driving along in a car. Take the ultimate road trip. End break. I've flipped through Family Frolic a few times, and I have to admit, the pictures always make everything look like a lot of fun. Your perfect family barbecue. Summer's here, and it's time to break out the grill and fill the cooler with drinks. What better way to celebrate the sunshine than with a good old-fashioned barbecue? Follow our tips for a day you and the family won't soon forget. The picture shows a very happy family in their garden. The dad is serving a perfectly barbecued burger to the mom. There's a jug of drink with ice cubes on the table. The children are running around playing games. The baby is sitting peacefully on the lawn with the well-behaved dog. End caption. But there must be something wrong with our family because we can never measure up to the ones they show in the magazine. Page break caption thing. Dad is swearing angrily as he drops his burger on the ground. Mom is anxiously trying to keep a swarm of flies off the food. Roderick is squirting Greg in the face with a water pistol, making him drop his food and drink. The drink jug has been knocked over, and Manny is sitting by the puddle, watching a line of ants march over to it. End caption. I guess Mom's not giving up, though. She said this road trip is gonna be awesome, and that spending a lot of time together in the car will be a bonding experience for the whole family. I tried to talk her into letting us do something normal, like going to a water park for the day, but Mom didn't want to hear it. She said the whole point of the trip is to do things we've never done before and to have authentic experiences. I thought Mom would have looped Dad in about her road trip idea, but apparently I was wrong because when he got home from work, he seemed just as surprised as us kids. Caption. Dad, in fact, looks horrified. End break. Dad told Mom it was a bad time to be away from work, and he didn't want to use his vacation days unless he absolutely had to. But Mom said there's nothing more important than spending time with your family. Then Dad told Mom he was really hoping to get his boat out on the water this weekend, and if we went on a road trip, he wouldn't be able to. Mom and Dad get along pretty well in general, but the one thing that's guaranteed to cause a fight between them is Dad's boat. A few years ago, Mom sent Dad out to get some milk, but along the way, he spotted a boat for sale in someone's front yard, and before you knew it, the boat was in our driveway. Caption. Dad is leaning against the pristine boat, looking very pleased with himself. The boys are agog. Mom is not amused. End caption. Mom was mad that Dad didn't check with her first because having a boat is a ton of work. But Dad said it was always his dream to have a boat, and that we could spend every weekend out on the water as a family. Page break line gizmo caption thing. Dad imagines an idyllic scene of the family speeding along in the boat. End break caption thing. So, Dad got to keep the boat, and he seemed really happy. But things went downhill fast. A few days later, some people from the Homeowners Association knocked on our front door. They said there were rules in our neighborhood against having a boat parked in front of your home, and told Dad he had to move it to the back. Page break caption thing. Dad, who is lovingly washing the boat, looks disappointed. End break. The boat sat in the backyard for the whole summer because Dad was too busy and didn't have time to use it. Then, in the autumn, one day, one of Dad's co-workers told him he'd have to winterize the boat to protect it from the cold weather. Dad found out it would cost more to winterize the boat than it cost him to buy it, so he decided he'd take his chances, and sure enough, 2 weeks later, when the temperature dropped below freezing, a big crack appeared in the hull. Page break. Dad sighs. Dad sees the crack and looks completely dismayed. End break. When it started to snow, Dad rolled the boat under the back deck, and it sat there all winter. In the spring, Mom started using it to store all sorts of junk from the house. Page break. In the boat, you can see boxes, garden tools, and a bicycle. Mom has workmen manhandling a washing machine into the boat. End break. The next summer, Dad decided he was gonna fix the boat. But when he went to pull it out from under the deck, he discovered a family of raccoons living in our old washing machine. Raccoon. Hiss! Dad screamed. Dad called an exterminator to get rid of the raccoons, but when he heard how much that was gonna cost, he decided to take care of it himself. By then, Manny had heard about the baby raccoons living in the washing machine, and Mom had to step in. Cage break. Dad has a horse whip pointing at the washing machine, but Manny stood in front of him, bawling his eyes out, with Mom backing him up. The baby raccoons are peering innocently out of the round drum in the washing machine. Raccoons. Coo. The boat's been sitting there ever since. I haven't heard any scurrying sounds coming from in there or under the deck. For a while, so I'm guessing the raccoons moved out. Today, Mom told Dad he had the whole rest of the summer to get his boat out on the water, and he pretty much gave up after that. Mom said we were going to leave first thing in the morning, so we needed to start packing for the trip. She told everyone to bring the bare essentials so we could get everything in the minivan. But by the time we got all of our stuff out in the driveway, it was pretty clear we had a space problem. Caption: the huge pile of bags and suitcases is larger than the van itself. End caption. Mom started going through everything and sorting it into two piles: the things we needed and the things we didn't need. Roderick was pretty disappointed when some of his essentials didn't make the cut. Caption: Roderick's drum kit has been put aside. End caption. Mom made me leave a bunch of small stuff behind, which seemed pretty ridiculous considering that Manny's plastic potty was coming along for the ride. Whenever we take a trip that's longer than 15 minutes, Mom brings Manny's potty, just in case. But I get really uncomfortable whenever Manny uses it. Caption: Manny is sitting on his potty in between his brothers in the back of the car. They both have takeaway food in their hands. End caption. Manny: pshaw. Mom wouldn't let me and Roderick take any electronics on the trip, even though they barely take up any room at all. She's always saying, kids these days don't know how to socialize because they've constantly got their noses 2 inches from a screen. But I'll tell you, when I have kids, I'm gonna let them play with whatever kind of gadget they want. If you ask me, electronics are the key to family happiness. Caption: future Greg and his family are sitting round a dining table. The 3 kids, including the baby, are glued to their devices. Greg and his wife clink their wine glasses with satisfaction. End caption. Even after Mom went through every single item in the driveway and cut out all the things we didn't need, there was still way too much to get in the van. I suggested we rent one of those giant recreational vehicles because we could fit all our stuff in it and have room to spare. The way I see it, if you want the whole family to get along, everything and everyone needs their own space, and with one of those souped up RV things, we could spend weeks on the road without even bumping into one another. Caption: Dad is driving, looking relaxed. Mom is sitting behind him with a magazine. Roderick is asleep in the back. Manny is watching TV. Greg is on the roof in a hot tub. There's even an empty room. End caption. But Mom said RVs are too expensive and they get terrible petrol mileage, so that put an end to that idea. Roderick said maybe we could get one of those trailers you tow behind the car, which sounded smart to me. But it was pretty clear Roderick was imagining the trailer as a sort of mini stowaway compartment for himself, so that wasn't gonna fly either. Caption: Roderick sees himself in the trailer, slumped in a beanbag with a drink and a packet of crisps, and a huge speaker booming out music, end caption. Then Dad chimed in with his own idea. He said we could solve the whole space issue by just putting the stuff that didn't fit in the van into the boat, which we could tow behind us. I think Mom realized there wasn't really any option, so she caved in. But getting the boat into the driveway was easier said than done. Not only did we have to take all the junk out of the boat, but it turned out there was a tree growing through the bottom. It took 3 hours to get the boat from under the deck. And let me just say, Mom did not exactly go out of her way to help. Caption: while the men of the family struggle to empty the boat and cut down the tree, Mom blows bubbles for a delighted Manny, end caption. After we got the boat into the driveway, Dad patched up the hole in the bottom and the crack in the hull with some duct tape. I hope we're not going anywhere near water on this trip, though, because as far as I know, the boat didn't come with any life jackets. Saturday. Even the added space we got from the boat, the minivan was still pretty full. I sneaked my pillow on board at the last second because I decided I was entitled to at least one luxury. I figured Roderick would want to sit in the back of the van because whenever we go anywhere as a family, he likes to stretch out and take a nap. Every once in a while, we'll forget that Roderick's even back there. This Easter, we made it halfway through church before Mom realized Roderick never made it out of the van. Caption: Mom knocks loudly on the van window while Roderick snores on. End caption. Back when we had a station wagon, me and Roderick used to sit in the way back together in a seat that faced the rear window, but we got in big trouble when we played a practical joke on Mom and Dad that ended up getting us pulled over by the police. Caption: Roderick and Greg are holding up adjoining signs in the rear window. Together they read, "These people are kidnapping us." End caption. When we got in the van today, Roderick offered me the back seat. I accepted before he could change his mind, but I should have known his offer was too good to be true. Caption: Roderick and Manny are sitting comfortably in their seats. Greg is awkwardly wedged on the top of pillows and luggage. End caption. Before we pulled out of the driveway, Mom said we were taking a special guest along for the ride. For a second, I was worried we were picking someone else up because with all our stuff in the van, they'd have to sit on the roof. But Mom opened her purse and pulled out a piece of paper with a drawing on it. The drawing was Flat Stanley, a character from a book I read in 2nd grade. Flat Stanley is a boy who gets squashed by a bulletin board that falls off his bedroom wall in the middle of the night. And when they pull the bulletin board off him, he's as thin as a piece of paper. I thought it was pretty cool that Flat Stanley could fold himself up and get mailed to his grandma, or his brother could fly him like a kite. But I'll tell you this, if Flat Stanley had a brother like Roderick, I guarantee he wouldn't survive a whole day. Caption: Roderick is putting a flat Greg through the shredder, end caption. Greg screaming, end caption. I really liked the book, but it kinda freaked me out too. One thing it did was give me a deathly fear of bulletin boards. Caption: Greg is having a sleepover at Rowley's. There's a bulletin board on the wall above the bed. End caption. Rowley: Are you sure you don't want the bed? It's a lot more comfy. Greg: The floor is okay. You take the bed. In second grade, end caption. In second grade, everyone in my class had to color in a cutout of Flat Stanley and mail him to a friend or relative that lived far away. Then the person was supposed to take a picture of Flat Stanley in front of something interesting and mail him back with the photo. My friend Rowley sent Flat Stanley to a bunch of his relatives and got lots of cool pictures back. Rowley even sent him to his uncle who lives in Asia, and he took a picture of Flat Stanley in front of the Great Wall of China. Well, the first person Mom sent my Flat Stanley to was her cousin Stacy, who lived out in Seattle, but she probably wasn't the best choice. Stacy is one of those people who hoard all sorts of stuff, like newspapers and magazines. So Mom should have known that once her cousin got her hands on Flat Stanley, he wasn't coming back. Caption: Stacy is stuffing Flat Stanley into the top of a huge stack of newspapers in a cupboard. Her home is full of empty bottles, cans, and other rubbish. Today, Mom said she was gonna take photos of our new Flat Stanley in front of all the cool places we visited. Then make a scrapbook out of our trip. And as soon as we got on the highway, she started snapping pictures. But she was probably a little too eager because her first few pictures weren't exactly keepers. Caption: One photo shows Flat Stanley with a random cow, one with a random tree, and one with no U-turn road signs. When Mom wasn't taking pictures, Flat Stanley was taped to the front air conditioning vent. All I can say is he was having a much better ride than I was. The window in the back of the van don't open, and the vents were blocked by all our luggage. So I wasn't getting any cold air at all. What made it even more uncomfortable was the fact that Mom was in control of the trip. Mom always tries to make things educational, and I knew she was going to turn this experience into one long lesson. She's been doing that ever since I was little. I remember when I got scratched by Grandma's cat and Mom tried to turn it into a teaching moment. Caption: Little Greg is crying over his scratched hand, but Mom ignores him. Mom. C-A-T. Cat. End caption. Sure enough, a half hour into the trip today, Mom started in with the educational stuff. She had borrowed a bunch of CDs from the library that teach Spanish and said we'd use the long stretches on the road to learn a new language as a family. Caption: CD case. Hola! Spanish lessons. Learn to speak Spanish fluently. End caption. Mom's always saying that learning foreign languages is the best thing you can do for your brain. That might be true, but I think she should leave the actual teaching to the schools. Mom decided it would be a good idea to expose me to a foreign language early on. So when I was in first grade, she would put the Spanish-speaking channels on TV while we ate breakfast. Mom would repeat whatever they said on the television, but when she said the words, they came out all a little bit different. Caption thing. TV. Tengo hambre. Mom. Tango hamburger. End caption. I ended up learning all sorts of phrases that weren't right. For example, the way you're supposed to say, "What's your name?" in Spanish is, well, this ought to be fun. Schmotelamos. Well, I know that now because I learned it in my middle school Spanish class. But when I was little, Mom taught me that what's your name in Spanish is TMO, which actually means I love you. I just wish I had known that before I said it to a million different people. Caption: The family are eating out at Juan's restaurant, where little Greg is calling out to a puzzled-looking waiter. Caption again. Greg. Ti amo, ti amo, ti amo, ti amo. Mom played the first two Spanish CDs, but she got frustrated that no one seemed to be paying attention. So she switched gears and said we were gonna play a car game she read about in her magazine. The game was called Alphabet Groceries, and you play it like this. The first player has to name an item you can get at the grocery store that starts with the letter A. The next person has to come up with an item that starts with the letter B, and so on. If a player can't come up with an item that starts with their letter, they're out of the game. Mom said I should go first, so I said apple, which I guess was kind of an obvious choice. Roderick was up next, but he said he couldn't come up with any good food that started with the letter B. I'm pretty sure he was lying to get out of having to play the game, but with Roderick, you never know. Caption. Roderick looking thoughtful. End caption. When Roderick got knocked out, the turn went to Manny, who came up with his word right away. Manny. Cheerfully. Bapple! Mom started clapping, but I pointed out that Bapple isn't a real word. She said Manny is just learning that alphabet and that we all needed to encourage him. I quit in protest, and from then on, it was only Manny and Mom and Dad playing. I really wished my earplugs weren't buried in my duffel bag under a pile of suitcases, because the next hour and a half was quite painful. Caption. Manny. Zapple. Mom and Dad. Yay! End caption. All that talk of food was actually getting me kinda hungry, and when we saw a sign for a drive-through place at the next exit, I asked Mom if we could pull over. But Mom said we wouldn't be stopping at any of those kinds of restaurants because they don't serve real food. She said fast food places lure kids in with cheap plastic toys to trick them into eating sugar and fat, and we weren't gonna fall into that trap. Mom said she had a much better alternative and handed me a lunch bag with my name on it. Caption. The bag is covered in words and pictures. Gregory. Mommy meal. Nutritious food. Fun activities. All mixed up. Unscramble the words to find the wacky phrase. MESUMR space ELRIANGN space SI space NFK. Two pony for why did the rabbit like water ship down? A. It was a hair-raising tale. Name that Nobel Prize. Name the Nobel Prize winner. 1. PKEU space IG. 2. TU UUKS. 3. ABUUUU. T space G something. 4. EY. OU. Capitals crossword. End caption. Just for the record, those did not translate very well into Braille, and I have no clue what in the world they say. If you do, good on you, but I do not. How scrumptious. Cold tea. Mom said she got the mommy meal idea from Family Frolic, which I guess should not come as a surprise. Inside the bag was a tuna sandwich, an orange, and a little carton of milk, plus something wrapped in tin foil. Mom said I had to eat my fruit before I unwrapped the sandwich and the tin foil because that was my prize. But I wish I had just opened it right away because I wouldn't have eaten the whole orange if I'd known the prize was a pack of math flashcards. Roderick got flashcards in his lunch too, and we could both see where this was headed. Before Mom could turn the next hour of the trip into a tutoring session, I pulled out one of the games Mom had packed in a big tote bag. The game I grabbed was called I Must Confess, and when Mom saw it, she got so excited she forgot all about the flashcards. I read the rules, which were pretty simple. One person takes a card from the deck and reads it out loud to the others. I must confess, ellipsis, I've met a famous person, page blank. If one of the players has done the thing that's written on the card, they earn a point, and the first player to get 10 points wins. I was a little skeptical at first, but I have to admit the game was actually kind of fun. I learned a lot more things about Mom and Dad that I never knew before. I found out that Dad had a pet chameleon when he was a kid, and that Mom dyed her hair blonde once, which really surprised me. Believe it or not, even Roderick was getting into the game. He got a point for being the only person who'd ever slept out overnight for tickets to a concert, and another point for getting a bug stuck in his ear, which I remember like it was yesterday. Caption. At the surgery, the doctor is peering into Roderick's ear with a pointy medical instrument, while Mom and Greg watch. Roderick looks distinctly uncomfortable. End caption. Dad and Roderick were neck and neck with 9 points, and whoever scored next would win the game. Mom seemed really happy everyone was just getting along and having fun. Then she pulled out a card out of the deck and read it. Mom, I must confess, I've toilet papered a neighbor's house. I'm pretty sure Mom thought no one was gonna get a point on that. because she was already reaching for the next one. But Roderick started acting like he just won the lottery. Caption: Roderick, I win, I win! Mom thought Roderick was lying to get a point, but he told her it was true. He said that a few months ago, he and his bandmates toilet papered Mrs. Turtle's house next door after she'd called the police to complain they were making too much noise rehearsing. Caption, page break thing. Mrs. Turtle's house has toilet paper dripping all over the roof, trees, and garden. End caption. Roderick thought the whole thing was pretty funny, but Mom didn't seem amused. Mom: let me get this straight. You and two of your bandmates toilet papered an elderly woman's house. If I was Roderick, I would have changed my story really quick and said I was just joking around to win the game. But Roderick didn't seize his chance to bail out. Roderick: no, there were four of us. Mom and Dad pull over to the side of the road, then handed Roderick her phone and made him call Mrs. Turtle to apologize, which was awkward for everyone in the car. Roderick: on the phone, I'm sorry for toilet papering your house, ma'am. After that, it was quiet in the van for a long time. Mom was about to pop the next Spanish CD in the CD player, but luckily Manny had fallen asleep by then, so she couldn't. If you wake Manny up in the middle of one of his naps, he'll go completely ballistic, and there's no calming him down. So whenever Manny falls asleep, Mom and Dad do everything they can to keep him that way. Caption thing. Manny is asleep with a little musical mobile twinkling above his cot. When Greg entered the room, unaware, Greg: hey, has anyone seen? Mom and Dad waving their hands and arms frantically. Shh! I was big on naps when I was Manny's age too. I used to take an hour-long nap at lunch every day, and when I started preschool, we had an official nap time where everyone pulled out a mat and slept on the floor. If you ask me, I think they should give kids nap time all the way through college, but they stop doing it after preschool, which I found out the hard way. On the first day of kindergarten, after we had our snack, I asked the teacher where the mats were so we could lie down and rest and recharge our batteries. But she said, kindergartners don't have nap time, and I thought she was making a funny joke. Greg, caption thing. Greg to teacher: aww. Yeah, right. End caption. A few minutes later, the whole class was making paper bag puppets. Apparently, I was the only one who wouldn't get the heads up on the no nap thing, because for the rest of the day, everyone else seemed fine while I could hardly function. Caption. Greg trudges exhausted, back to his desk. End caption. I'm glad Mom remembered to bring a dummy on the trip, because as long as Manny's got one stuck in his mouth... A dummy? Yep, a dummy. I guess it's like a soother. I don't know. We're going to say that it is. As long as Manny's got one stuck in his mouth, he can sleep through almost anything. Manny lost his favorite dummy last night, but Dad ran out to get a new one at the store near our house that sells gag gifts. Caption thing. The new dummy has big, gapy teeth pointed on the front of it, and of the mouth shield. End caption. I guess it looks a little strange, but it works just as well as a regular one. Caption thing. Manny is sucking happily on the dummy, but looks as if he has a big, open, toothy mouth. End caption thing. Manny had been sleeping peacefully for about an hour today when we stopped at a toll booth. Dad rolled down his window to get out the ticket, so the guy at the booth had such a loud voice, he sounded like he was speaking through a megaphone. Caption. Toll booth guy. Hope y'all are having an awesome day. Manny starts to fuss, and his dummy came halfway out of his mouth. But luckily, Roderick reacted quickly, and Manny fell back asleep. Roderick leans over and pushes it back into Manny's fingers and mouth. I think Mom was a little frustrated that Manny was napping in the first place. She had marked a bunch of places on her map where she wanted us to stop and get out for some sightseeing, but now we had to keep driving. The problem I had with Manny's nap was that I really needed to get out of the car and stretch, but I couldn't. I tried to make myself comfortable, but with all the stuff piled around me, it was impossible. Luckily, my backpack was within arm's reach behind my seat because I had some books and other things I'd brought to interest myself. Mom's always trying to get me to read stuff that's enriching, but when it comes to books, I know what I like, and ever since elementary school, my favorite books have been the ones in the Underpants Bandits series. The Underpants Bandits books are about these two kids named Bryce and Brody who go back in time and steal underwear from famous people so they can put the underpants in a museum. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but the books are actually pretty funny. Caption of the book cover: Underpants Bandits by Mick Davies. A caption from the book: and just as Van Gogh returned to his masterpiece, Bryce snatched the painter's favorite pair of boxers, which, thank goodness, were clean. End caption. The books are super popular with boys at my school, but the teachers hate them because of all the rude humor. Whenever a book report was due in 5th grade, all the boys in my class did theirs on one of the Underpants Bandit books. And that made my teacher, Mrs. Terry, hate them even more. Caption thing. Various Underpants books titles: Underpants Bandits and Shakespeare's Skivvies by Luke Howells. Underpants Bandits and Napoleon's Breeches by Matt Trask. Underpants Bandits and Cleopatra's Pants by someone whose name I can't read. Our class had a project where we had to write a letter to our favorite author, and of course, all the boys chose McDavies. But Mrs. Terry said we had to pick someone else, so I grabbed a random book from the library and wrote my letter to an author I'd never even heard of before. March 30th. Dear Nathaniel, my teacher made us write to an author, so I picked you. I've never read any of your books. You know, no offense. Here are my questions for you. 1. What's your favorite color? 2. What's your favorite animal? 3. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream? Number 4. What's your favorite superhero movie? I would appreciate it if you could answer me too soon, because I am getting graded on this. Sincerely, Greg Heffley. But I probably should have checked the year the book was written before I wrote my letter. May 20th. Dear Mr. Heffley, we regret to inform you that the author to whom you have written, Mr. Hawthorne, passed away more than a century ago. As such, he will not be able to respond to your letter. With regrets, Katerina Welker, publisher. Most parents don't like the Underpants series books either. In fact, the PTA had a meeting that year which decided that parents' tax dollars shouldn't be used to purchase any of the Underpants Bandits books for the library. Caption: Mrs. Terry is talking to a room full of unhappy parents and pointing at an image of Underpants Bandits and a Gandhi's undergarments cover. When we came back to school from the spring break, all of the Underpants Bandits books in the library were gone. Caption: The boys stare shocked at an empty shelf. End caption. I hope these adults are happy when a whole generation of boys grow up not knowing how to read. When the school banned the Underpants Bandits books, it just made them more popular than ever. Some boys sneaked in copies from home and passed them out to eat back and forth to the other kids. And caption: one boy furtively exchanges a book for cash in the boys' toilets. End caption. One kid even brought in a bootleg copy of an Underpants Bandits book from Japan. I couldn't understand a word of it, but it was pretty easy to figure out from the pictures what was going on. Caption: Leonardo da Vinci is painting the Mona Lisa, who has an oops look on his face as a loud noise comes from her bottom. The two boys are looking in at the window, aghast and holding their noses. End caption. I actually wrote to the author on my own just to tell him how much I liked the series. August 18th. Dear Mr. Davies, I'm just writing to tell you, don't listen to those people who say your books are garbage, because they don't know what they're talking about. I know a bunch of kids, including me, who think your books are great. As far as the rude humor goes, I find the stuff hilarious, so please don't change a thing. In fact, I would encourage you to put more bodily functions and things of that nature in your books. Sincerely, Greg Heffley. I'd never written a fan letter like that, and every day when I got home from school, I ran to the mailbox to see if Mick Davies had written me back. I finally got a response almost a year later, and I was really excited. But when I read the letter, it was a huge disappointment. From the desk of Mick Davies. Dear friend, unfortunately, I get so much fan mail that I'm not able to answer your letter personally. But I did want to tell you to be on the lookout for Underpants Bandits 24. Lincoln's Long Johns, coming soon to the stores near you. Lots of yucks, Mick. I couldn't believe I poured my heart and soul into this guy, and all I got back was an ad. Caption: Greg tosses the letter in the bin. End caption. Even though that whole experience left a bad taste in my mouth, I still like his books. At least, I get to read them whenever I want. This summer, Roderick's school gave him... I guess we're switching volumes. Please hold. They sure end these in weird places. So let's figure this out here. Part 2. Okay. A whole list of required reading, and some of the books looked like a lot of work. Caption: book title: Jane Eyre. Charlotte Bronte. Moby Dick by Herman Melville. A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. But Roderick's not much of a reader, so he rented all the movies the movie versions of the books on his list. Mom said it's not smart to watch the movie without reading the book because they usually change a lot of stuff, but Roderick said as long as he got the basic idea, he'd be fine. I think his approach is gonna cause a problem though. The Lord of the Rings is on his summer reading list, but when he rented the movie, he wasn't careful about checking the title. Movie case for... Caption. Movie case for Lords of the Ring show a picture of wrestlers on the cover. End caption. Roderick watched the movie twice, and after the second time, he told Mom that whoever wrote the book must be a genius. But I'm guessing Roderick's teacher is gonna be pretty confused when she reads his book report in September. Caption. Roderick is sitting on the sofa with a bag of crisps and a drink as the TV goes crunch. Pound! End caption. By the time I was done reading today, I really needed to get out of the car to prevent my legs from permanently cramping. Manny was still asleep, but he had somehow turned himself all the way upside down in his seat. When Mom noticed, she told Dad maybe we should stop driving for the day so he could pull off at the next exit. I was really looking forward to eating a meal at a decent restaurant, but Mom said we were on a budget and then we were gonna pack up and have dinner at the grocery store. Dad found a supermarket a few miles from the exit, but Mom was afraid that if the van stopped moving, Manny would wake up and have a fit. So, Mom wrote a shopping list for Roderick and gave him some money. Then Dad drove really slow in front of the entrance so Roderick could hop out of the van. Dad had to drive the parking lot about 10 times, which wasn't easy since we were towing a boat. Eventually, Roderick came out with a couple of bags of groceries, and from the looks of it, he had picked up some extra items for himself. Caption. Roderick is blowing some bubble gum and has a bottle of cola by his feet. End caption. When Dad pulled the van up and around, Roderick hopped in. Then we started looking for a place to stay for the night, but the selection in the area wasn't that great. The motels all looked cheap and unappealing. A few of the motels had big signs that said they had color TV, which, if you ask me, is not anything to brag about this day and age. Dad finally pulled over at the place with air conditioning and a pool, which sounded pretty good to me, especially considering that I'd lost about 5 pounds of sweat sitting in the back seat of the car. I haven't stayed in a whole lot of motels, but if I had to guess, I'd say we picked one on the lower end of the spectrum. The lobby smelled like mildew, and the carpet was covered with weird stains. Caption. The receptionist is a scruffy young woman who is busy watching TV and taking no notice of them. End caption. But everyone was too tired to get back in the car and look for another place to stay. we got the key to our room, and when we walked in, it reeked of smoke. There were little holes in the covers of the pillows that I'm pretty sure were cigarette burns. Caption: the room looks dismal with peeling wallpaper and threadbare carpet. End caption. Dad picked up a towel off the floor, then dropped it because it was wet. Mom went back to the front desk and asked for a different room, but the clerk said the motel was full and that we'd gotten the last room they had. Mom told her, in that case, we were gonna leave and take our business to another motel. But the clerk told her there was a 24-hour cancellation policy, so we couldn't get our money back. When Mom returned to the room, she said we were gonna have to try to make the best of a bad situation. Then she and Dad stripped the bed down to the bare mattress. Believe it or not, Manny slept through all this. Mom said that if he woke up now, he'd be awake all night, so she was just gonna let him sleep right through till morning. Mom put Manny down in the middle of the sofa bed and pulled a blanket over him. The rest of us were really hungry, so we emptied out the groceries Roderick bought. But it turned out he didn't buy anything on Mom's list. Roderick was supposed to get sandwich supplies, orange juice, and stuff like that, but he had got a bunch of things he likes. Papa Pete's pizza, cheese curls, cinnamon rolls, Big Bubba bubble gum. Mom was pretty upset that Roderick didn't get a single thing on her list, but his excuse was that he couldn't read her handwriting. Mom told him it wasn't very smart to get cinnamon rolls and a frozen pizza since those things needed an oven, and we didn't have one. But Roderick said we could microwave the pizza. Then he put it inside the microwave oven to prove it. Caption: Roderick presses a few buttons on the keypad at the side. End caption: at least Roderick thought it was a microwave. It was actually a safe. By the time he figured that out, the pizza was locked inside. Caption: Roderick strains uselessly at the door of the safe. End caption. Roderick: grunt. Urgh! Mom gave me what was left of her cash and said to go down to the vending machine to get the most nutritious stuff I could find. And that's how we ended up eating sugar wafers and breath mints for dinner on the first night of our road trip. And we'll pick back up next time on Sunday. Alrighty, let's shut this down. Hopefully everyone's having themselves a good weekend. Sure good to be back at school, eh? And we can actually do stuff this year. It's a little different on this end. Oops, sorry. A little different on this end. I'm in Bridges this year instead of with, in junior res where I like to be and was before. But Bridges is fun and I like it. And pretty soon I get to start cooking with the troops over there. So yes, please. Anywho, have a good time. We'll hopefully see some of, if not all of you, during the week. I'm off for a couple days finishing up reviving from this eye surgery carry-on, because apparently, if I move around or get knocked around too much, or perhaps shine a camera too viciously in my eyes, my retina could detach, and that, for lack of a better term, would be decidedly unpleasant. So anyway, we'll see you probably Tuesday or Wednesday, and if we don't, we'll see you some other time. So until next time, be it via YouTube or in real life, live and in person, see you next time. Speech on. Take picture. Take picture. Stop. 1 hour. Stop. Video.